You're watching TelecomTV's coverage of Mobile World Congress 2015. And joining me now is Glenn Lurie, who is President and CEO of AT&T Mobility. Glenn, thanks for talking with TelecomTV.
Well, thank you.
How is AT&T addressing the growing demand for M2M and IoT services?
You know, AT&T got into what we used to call it the emerging device business, and now the IoT business a long time ago, 8 years ago. We put a team dedicated in this business, and you can see behind me just how well we're doing. I mean, we have almost 20 million devices on our network today, which is tops in the US, and so we feel very good about our position. In fact, we work very closely with our network team. We're doing a lot in technology with our labs and our foundries, so this is a very, very big push for AT&T, and I think for us, it's one of the biggest growth areas we have.
And what usage trends are you starting to see for IoT sensors and devices?
Yeah, so we actually, it depends on the device, to your point. It also depends on the vertical, but think about it this way. Many of the devices are what we call bursty, not thirsty, right? They're bursty to get some data, and then they go off, right? So they really are more about signaling than they are about a lot of capacity. At the same time, if you look behind me, there's a couple of cars, right? And you're starting to see the cars have both. Right, so that front seat may be more about safety and security, while the back seat may be a complete 4G hotspot, which is a high bandwidth. So we're kind of starting to see it go both ways. I mean, I'd argue when you look at some of the wearables, like the Timex watch is a completely connected watch. You know, that watch is going to be bursty, not thirsty. But I think down the road, as you see it more and more, there may be some applications that are using a little bit more. So we have to be prepared for it to be both. And so we treat all these devices as individual devices on our network, like we would a tablet or a smartphone.
A lot of remote sensors and devices are low power units. They don't have large batteries. So is a cellular network the right network for IoT, or should we be looking at low power networks?
It's a great question, and I think it depends on what. So let me give you an example, like Digital Life, which is our home automation and security business. Inside the home, we have 5 protocols. So a Zigbee, Z-Wave, 900, and those are very low power, right? You can have a very small battery in there, and those will talk to each other within that home, talking to the Digital Life controller. Now, when that Digital Life controller is a wireless device, it will go outside to the wide area wireless network. So it really depends on the applications and how it's being used. But you're absolutely right. As we move more into 5G, we hear a lot more people talking about low power consumption, right? Higher battery life and those types of things, which are going to be very important to IoT.
You mentioned 5G, so how will the eventual 5G architectures support IoT deployments?
Right, well, you know, the requirements aren't all set yet, and there's a lot of people talking about it, but if you think about it theoretically and where I think it's going to land, first of all, for smartphones, you're going to see lower latency, higher speeds, the things you'd expect. On the IoT side, there's a lot of discussion about having a layer inside of those requirements that is really for IoT. So you'd have a separate layer that would allow you to have low power, right? High and very bursty frequency. And so I think we've got an opportunity with 5G to do both, to have a network that's built for both that high bandwidth, the tablet, the smartphone, as well as that small sensor that needs to be on for many years without having to change it and only needs to exchange small bits of data.
So does AT&T offer a managed platform for M2M providers?
Yeah, we do. Well, so we have a few platforms, but the one I think you're talking about is something we call M2X. And the M2X is really on the industrial internet side, where we can give our customers the ability not only to monitor those devices, but a complete GUI that allows them to see, understand how much they're using, turn them on, turn them off. We actually have a wonderful partner in a company called Jasper Wireless that helps us with that. But yeah, we have, one of the things that AT&T has done is, like I said, we got into this space early. We made a lot of investments. We believed in the space early, which is one of the reasons why we're leading, is because we have these types of platforms like M2X, like our global SIM platform. We have a bifurcated billing platform for the car. So we've gone out and made these investments, which has given us an advantage over other companies.
How important is actual mobility when it comes to M2M and IoT? In other words, those devices that are moving as opposed to being fixed.
Well, I think when you think about sensors that aren't mobile, that's when you need to use other types of the Zigbees, the Z-Waves, and those types of protocols. Because reality is if it doesn't move, if it's a connected refrigerator or a connected something in the home, it really can use Wi-Fi, for example, and you can set it up. It's inexpensive, it's very easy to use, it's low power, and then when that home needs to communicate outside the home, then you can use either a wired broadband pipe or a wireless broadband pipe. In our case, we only sell Digital Life with both, because we believe that if you were to lose one for life safety, you need to have that redundancy. So we only sell Digital Life with both wired and wireless to make sure that that home is safe and our customer is secure.
Now you mentioned that you've got a couple of connected cars here at Mobile World Congress. A car is a very mobile device. How are you going to evolve IoT within the car environment?
Cars, in our view, the car is the next great device in our life, right? Every car needs to be connected. It needs to have LTE. And when you start to think about what you can do with that, first and foremost, we need to make the car a safer place, right? Distracted driving. We want people with two hands on the wheel, eyes on the road. We want to give them the technology that allows them, though, to do anything they want to do on a smartphone, for example, in that car while they're driving. And so you're going to see a lot more technology around voice activation. You're going to see a lot more technology around the apps in that car being built for a car, which means it needs to be voice enabled and those types of things. The other thing we have an opportunity to see is once that car is connected with LTE, cars can talk to cars, and cars can talk to infrastructure. And now all of a sudden you have the capability for when there's going to be an accident, we can potentially stop that accident from happening, right? If you're in a city with a lot of traffic, there's no reason why that car talking to infrastructure can't actually be a smart city that allows you now to have traffic be better and more simplistic. So the opportunities are endless once the car is connected.
Glenn Lurie, thanks very much indeed.
Thank you for having me.